So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, and it is the Demetra K Show where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we are, oops, hold on a second. I always do that. I have me in the background. Twice of me is a little bit too much. But anyway, to make us an even better people, as I was saying, with the emphasis on even because we are great people. Also, like to say a big giant hello and welcome and thank you to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers anymore. You are participants because I did share the link in the YouTube chat. It is pinned there. If you want to come on and just, make a comment or two or ask a question, when we give the prompt to do so, all I ask is that I see your face if I am not familiar with you, because we have people trying to come on here with the nonsense, and we have a zero tolerance for that. So today we're going to be talking about an MMA fighter. Now somebody said, what is the MMAs? I didn't want to spell it out because sometimes YouTube be tripping when we say certain things, in the titles like MMA fighter. So I left off the fighter, but it's mixed martial artist is what it is, or something like that. So that's what that means. He is potentially going to lose half of his wealth. We're going to talk about that and how that can be avoided. So Donovan would say you.
Sorry about that. It is 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That means it's Demetra K time. It is Sunday. I want to give a special shout out to my mama first. And to all you moms out there, happy Mother's Day. Of course, this is a big day for all you ladies. I got a question. And I got some feedback. Here's some feedback there somewhere. Let me ask you, why is it that when it's Mother's Day, women get to go out, this, that, we take it to the restaurants, to the church, and all this stuff like that. Mama goes out. Father's Day, y'all want us to barbecue. Equality, huh? But anyway, happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there, and do us a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. This is a very important topic, and I have my opinion on this because a young man that plays soccer showed us, brothers, what we need to do when it comes to dealing with these women. Put everything you own in your mama's name. You won't have these problems. So a very important topic. Let's try to keep it as light as possible. It is Mother's Day, so let's enjoy and have a good time. And by the way, my good friend Demetra, happy Mother's Day to you.
So thank you so much. Yes, it is Mother's Day. Now, I'll be honest with you, I really don't celebrate it all like that because I think every day is Mother's Day. Of course, you guys know if you follow me for some time, my mom has gone on. She is now an ancestor. So I think about my mom a lot. And I guess maybe especially on Mother's Day because everybody else is talking about their moms and stuff. But happy Mother's Day to you guys that do celebrate it. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and all of that. All right, so let me acknowledge those who are in the comment section really quick. Let's see, persecuted pianist. I think that's what it is. How you doing? Says when I saw this, all I could say is wow, and I'm not surprised he's with a white woman. And Odonata, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, isn't he African? Yes, he is New Zealand, a Nigerian. I think that's what it said. And persecuted pianist, she says, yes, he's okay. So you responded to that. And Monet, what's going on with you? Says much Detroit love and happy, wonderful Mother's Day. Hope you enjoy this wonderful day. If you date a person for years and you're not entitled to their fortune, if they did not marry you, you make a good point there. And Earth Angel, how you doing? He says, good, big dummy. Let's see here. Asha, how you doing? He says, take it all, Becky. Yikes. Tito, how you doing? I hope I answered your question. And Maureen, what's going on with you? Thank you for answering that. Let's see. Hello, Tawana, how you doing? And my moderator, Don, how are you this fine evening? And Jan Michael, how are you doing? And thank you so much. And multiple souls, once again, thank you. And King of Sorrows, how you doing? Thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. And Kubler, long time no see. How you doing? Say preach, Donovan. Black America, how you doing? Thank you so much. And Dote BM, I hope I said that right. If I did not, forgive me. He says, love you every day, Demetra. Thanks for everything you do. And I love you too. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to put these people's pictures up. All right, I'm trying to explain this as best I can. All right. Now, there was another, I guess, MMA fighter by the name of Sean O'Malley. He went on a YouTube channel by the name of Sugar. Okay. And he actually disclosed what was going on with Isreal Adesanya. I hope that's how you say it, but they call him Izzy for short. That is the MMA fighter that you see here with the belt. He's a UFC, I guess, champion, middleweight champion is what he is. He disclosed that his girlfriend there, Charlotte Powdrell, she wants half of everything that he has. Now, it sounds like they might have been together since 2019 or so. For whatever reason, the relationship has dissolved. And Sean said these things on the show. I don't want to play the video because, I'll get in trouble, whatever. But I'll tell you what he said. Okay, he said, the girl in question was never married to Isreal, nor had a child with him, but believes she is entitled to half of his wealth because they dated too long and she supported his Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC career. Now, O'Malley went on to say, Izzy, that's the guy's name for short, ex-girlfriend, they are not married, right? They were never married. I didn't believe it. He says she wants half of his assets. I don't know how the relationship was because I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. But to want half of what he's gone out there and done is absolutely ridiculous. So I should also say that Charlotte there is a real estate agent. They live in New Zealand. Okay, so that's important to know. They live in New Zealand. He is worth about $4 million from what I saw, maybe more. I don't know, but that's what they're saying. Again, she has taken him to court. She wants half. Now, I got to wondering what the laws are there in New Zealand in regards to maybe palimony or common law. So they said that in New Zealand, they have adopted the English's legal system since 1840. Now, for what I have here, it says marriage or civil union that I guess has a certificate or birth certificates for children. They don't have children. Or a joint rental or a home loan, that kind of would say, maybe they're in something, some sort of a common law, something that would say maybe they're married by common law, right? I don't know if they have any of that, but if he does, yeah, he's going to go to court. Now, also it says that relationship needs to be comprised of 3 years, and as I just said, married, civil union, and a de facto relationship. Now, a de facto relationship is described as this in New Zealand. It says New Zealand laws define a de facto relationship as being between two persons, whatever their gender, who are both aged over 18 years old, who are not married to or in a civil union with each other, and who live together as a couple. All right. And so let's see. What else does it say here? It says, even if you've not been living together for 3 years and don't have children together, the court can determine whether you and your partner live together as a couple based on consideration of the following circumstances. How long you've been together, whether you share a residence, do you share a bedroom together? And I'm sure if they were boyfriend and girlfriend, they probably did. That says 3, whether a sexual relationship exists between you two or the two. 4, an arrangement surrounding your financial affairs. Example, are you financially dependent upon each other? Do you share bank accounts, etc.? Ownership, use, and acquisition of any property, assets, or liability. Whether you have a mutual commitment to shared life together. And then it says the care and support of any children. Doesn't sound like they had any. Who performs various household duties, and how the public views your relationship. Example, do your friends and family see you as a couple? So that's per New Zealand. And if any of those things are true, then yeah, sounds like she may be entitled to half of everything that he has. And then it also says, unless the court deems it to be, completely unfair. So they are going to court. And I guess one day we'll hear the results of what happened, but she wants half because she supported him in his career. Sounds like, again, they've only been together since 2019. So what that's, 6 years, give or take, maybe 4 years, 2014. Yeah, I'm tripping. 4 years. 4 years, give or take. So I don't know when they broke up, but sounds like it was recently. And she wants half. Look how happy she looks. She's like, one day, I know I'm gonna get half. So I should also say that Sean O'Malley did go on to say this is kind of why it's unfair, to get married. He was saying, how Izzy is a good guy. He's worked hard his whole life, and to get where he's at. And now she wants to come in and get half. And so he says it's pretty jacked up. So Donovan,
well, it's jacked up for the simple fact that they never even got married. They're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Again, this is another example as of if the system is like this when you're not married, why not just get married, you guys? At least it's easier to separate the assets and people have benefits and you know where you stand. Not like I never married this woman. I never wanted her to have my family name and she gets everything as if she's a bona fide wife. Total BS. But this is the world we're living in. We're talking about fairness. Now, notice the ladies are awfully quiet in the chat, fellas. They think, oh, yeah, girl, get him. Yeah, you don't get that money, whatever. But I'm going to just tell you guys this because I come from a military environment, and I'm going to tell you this. And this is what a lot of people don't know. I used to tell my troops this all the time because it was factual. You got these young troops in the military, they fall in love and they get married and stuff. Do you guys know that on the military books, it is still a rule in the military where you have to get permission to get married? They just don't enforce it anymore, but it's still a rule. So when my young troops would want to get married, or if they already got married and we didn't know about it, I would sit them down in my office and I would sit there and I would talk to the spouse, give her my nice congratulations and all that great stuff. Then I would send her or him on their way. Then I would talk to my troop. And this is what the military says about being married. In the US military, if a spouse stays with you for 7 years, she's entitled to 30% of your retirement if you make the military a career. 30%. Now, if she remarries, then she can't get the 30%. If she stays with you 10 years, she gets half of your retirement, unless, of course, she gets married after, during that time, then she gets nothing, right? So number one, that incentivizes the spouse never to get married, right? She's never going to get married because she got that money coming in. So I would tell my troops this all the time. I would tell them these facts that they didn't know. At 6 years of being with this woman, you better reevaluate your relationship. At 8 to 9 years, you better reevaluate your relationship and if you're going to make this a career. Because even though I remarry and my ex-wife remarries, and let's say I retire, how many problems is that going to cause me and my new wife because my old wife still gets my retirement and we're living off half of a half? It's crazy. But see, we talk about fairness and stuff. This is why young men that are smarter than we were see there's no value in getting married. I mean, it's unfortunate, but this woman was with this man for 4 years and she wants half. Ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. She wasn't in the car like Mary Harvey and, taking this guy and doing all the struggles and stuff. It's just totally ridiculous. But notice, fellas, the ladies are silent, like, yeah, girl. Uh-huh. Yeah, sis, get him, girl. I mean, come on. Where's the fairness? You see, now the women are like that unless it's their son. Then it's like, oh my God, it's terrible. It's crazy.
how you doing, Tisha? And happy, wonderful Mother's Day to you. I mean, I heard everything you said, and yes, it's horribly jacked up. Like, I don't disagree with you, but at the end of the day, repeat it with me. Don't shack, right? Do not shack.
Right now, I live alone in my house. I don't believe in shacking. A girl could come over for the night, and then you got to go in the morning. But then again, think about it this way too. Everybody, let's think about this critical thinking. Wouldn't this be a he say, she say scenario? Well, I stayed with him. No, you didn't. How are you going to prove it? Yeah, you stayed a few nights, but you didn't live with me. How are you going to prove that? It's a he say, she say thing.
I mean, we've had this discussion before. I mean, we just have, and I think once you get a certain age and you acquire certain things in life, I think you should think on what's, how you're going to protect yourself, right? As you said, fellas, at the 9-year mark, you might want to think about whether you want to continue on with the relationship or dump that old broad. Because after 10 years, she's entitled to your pension. What other way is around as well for women, I should say. But the thing is, I mean, if you really feel like, there's levels to it, because I think you could really love somebody, but also err on the side of caution and say, you know what, baby, I love you. I really do. However, I'm gonna need you to sign this prenuptial. You know what I mean? I don't see that being a problem, because we know that things happen and people don't always stay together. And I think it is really unfair for somebody to come into whatever you have. Let's say you have more, you have wealth and all this stuff. And then one of y'all decides you don't want to be married. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm leaving. I'm taking the stuff I brought with me. And I'm taking half. I'm going to take half, and then if I win and drag you to court, I'm going to make you pay all these, large lawyer fees. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think it's unfair. But I think everybody involved should protect your interests. Let's say you are the other person, and let's say it is usually the woman. Let's not lie to kick it. You're the woman. You're going to go into this marriage, and you don't have much. You might want to say, honey, lover, I love you, but, nothing's guaranteed. And if this marriage dissolves, what do I get? Because I'm going to stay home and I'm going to cook for you and clean for you and, let you do everything you want because we're married, okay, keep it clean as Mother's Day, okay? So what do I get if this doesn't work out? Now, in some cases, very wealthy men, they do put provisions in there, like for every child you have, you get $1 million, or, if it doesn't work, you get A, B, C, and D. So people work it out like that. But I also think it would behoove people to study the laws in your state or your, country, wherever you live, and say, okay, I like this lady. She cute. She all of that, Becky got an iron board booty, whatever. She's cute to me. However, if we live together and we don't work out, what do the laws say? Is she trying to take me for half? See, that's what you have to do when you have that kind of money, or really anything that you don't want to lose, and say, all right, well, let me protect myself. All right, maybe you need to live in your own spot or live in my spot. And until we're serious, then we don't live together. But there's a lot going on. At the end of the day, I think people just need to do what they need to do to protect their own interests. Shut up, Siri. But the problem is too, and I'm going to get to the comments and then I'm going to open up the link. The problem is this. We have been sold an ideology that, oh, well, if you ask me for a prenup, you don't really love me. Oh, if we're going to last forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So why do we need that, right? Then we've been taught, well, girl, he don't love you if you ask him something like that. Instead of saying, well, yeah, it's kind of puts a damper on things, but you got to understand he's trying to protect what he's amassed, right? He's worked his whole life. He's been training to fight and all this. And here you come, you could take half. So, sign on the line and get some things that you want and marry the guy and hope for the best, right? If y'all work out, then it's all going to be yours. But yikes. So.
Well, real quick. Now, how many of you guys recently saw what Tyrese is going through? Okay, which is a different scenario. He had a prenup that said in the prenup that if she disputed the prenup, regardless of what the outcome was, they were going to pay their own attorney fees. She recently got awarded almost $600,000 in attorney fees. So it's like, even when you do all that, Demetra, there's, for some reason, you got these simp judges or whatever that go around it and they don't honor their prenup as it was written. She, God, she deserves what she wants to get, whatever. And that was supposedly in his prenups, supposedly. And that's what Tyrese was saying. He's like, wait a minute, you're supposed to pay your own attorney fees if you dispute this prenup. I mean, it was already there. She didn't like the prenup, so she wanted to challenge it. That's fine. Get your own attorney. And she didn't want to go by the prenup, and he had to pay her attorney fees. So even if you're doing the right thing for dudes, maybe it's just black men, it's successful black men, I don't know. The prenup means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and Tisha, you make a good point. Says, hell no, take your ass home. I love my dude, but we're never going to live together without the benefit of marriage. And yes, I'm speaking from the perspective of my children. Yeah, as they say, make me an honest woman. But we do need to get past the point of shacking up and all that other stuff. Let's do it right. If you're serious about me, let's do it right. And then if we need to protect ourselves or whatever, because there's a lot of cases where women, they end up losing a lot of money. We've heard about Mary J. Blige. And the one of the cases that comes to mind for me, y'all remember Jessica Simpson? She's a singer and she was married to was it Nick Lachey? One of them, yeah, Nick Lachey from 98 Degrees or whatever, the boy band. Anyway, at the time, he was making more money. And so Jessica's dad was like, okay, Nick, we need to get a prenuptial in case you guys don't work out and blah, blah, blah. And so, he was like, oh, okay, he signed a prenuptial. But what had happened was Jessica ended up making way more money than he did. In fact, she became worth $1 billion, something like that, because she moved from music and had her own clothing line and shoes and all that. So she became this mogul, and then they divorced. And guess what? She had to give him money and alimony until he got married. So it flipped around. So, you just really got to, kind of foresee the future and protect yourself, I would imagine. All right, let me read the rest of these comments, and then I'm going to open up the link. And B1 always, how you doing? Once again, it says the court may not grant money to a Black woman, but they are going to give it to Becky. You know what? I think you're right. I think she going to get in there. And they're going to be like, oh, my God, you poor thing. You need half of everything.
Hey, wait a minute. I was just in court with a bad B Sororo. She came in there, no makeup, no tight wig. She had a gorilla wig on, dusty gorilla wig, claiming poverty. And the judge saw through it, and it was a female judge.
Hello, Jay Punt. You said, Demetri, I didn't even have to listen to what you have to say. This dude is big time Sambo. I knew this was going to happen to him sooner or later. I saw somebody in the comment section saying that I guess he was on the side of Dana White, the guy. I guess he's over the UFC or whatever. He made a lot of racist remarks, and he defended him. Is like, I wonder if Dana gonna come out and defend you if that's true, right? Is he gonna say, "Don't take his money, Becky"? We don't see. Mickey said, "Becky gonna get that bag." I mean, she might. Hello, Brother Jonell. How are you? Says Peace Queen, Brother Donovan fam. Happy Mother's Day to all. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. And Anna said with us, half. And Mike, and how you doing? It says true. And let's see here. Watu Wakel, how you doing? It says this is indicative of the complete breakdown of traditional relationships between men and women and the modern day vices they live in. Who's fooling who needs who? You make a very good point. I mean, it's really come down to that. You have to ask a whole lot of questions. Yes. And Anishi says, say no. And if you guys are on Facebook and you're watching this and you want me to see your comment, please click on the link to do so. We also have a link pinned on YouTube if you want to come up and speak your opinion briefly, because we'll probably have a lot of people come up. But all I ask, if I don't know you and I haven't seen you before, please show me your face so that I can make sure you are who you say you're going to be. And PI, how you doing? It says, yes, people switch like they change undies. I don't think they should be entitled to your money after the business is over and closed. Yeah, I mean, I don't think so either. I mean, I think you should try to see what that you're taking care of, but to try to take somebody for half, nah. And KTJ, how you doing? It says that is all. And thank you, Mike. Appreciate you for that. And B1 always, it says America created the system. This system is not for Black people. There's a lot of Black people caught up in it, though. You can believe that. Yes, Donovan, as you did mention that of Tyrese, he had to pay his daughter's mother a lot of money and legal fees and things like that, and back child support. Let's see here. Red Ninja, how you doing? Says, I don't know. They live in New Zealand. Yeah, I looked, and it sounds like if they're on a lease together or anything together and stuff like that, he could end up paying her half. It appears that could be the case.
Fellas, let me say this again. Let me reiterate from the great one in Africa. Put all of your assets in your mama's name. You don't have to worry about it. This guy created the blueprint. I mean, I'm convinced. I told my mom, yeah, mom, I'm gonna put this over here just in case, just in case, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, but as they say in the nation, settle down to a good choice. Try to anyway. Settle down to a good choice. And if you have doubts about that good choice, settle down to a prenup with a good choice. You know what I mean? So that way you don't leave financially injured. Just be wise. And as I said, stop thinking, oh, he don't really love me, or telling people he don't really love you, girl, if he asks you for that. It's like, come on now. That you cannot mix the two, because love sometimes have people not be wise and use wisdom, right? They think with everything else but their mind. People also say, follow your heart, girl. But you should not follow your heart, because your heart is stupid, right? Your heart is going to have you doing things, because some people follow their heart into somebody else's husband bed too. You know what I mean? So you're supposed to actually use your brain and not your mind or anything else below your belt.
Use your heart, not your mind.
Now, I love that WB, but all that is wrong. Wrong. Joanne, how are you doing? Thank you so much. The same to you if you are a mother. And Mike says marriage isn't as sacred anymore as it used to be. It's sad. I don't even know why people say vows anymore, right? It's like, just jump over the broom and go do what you do.
Yeah, because it's kind of crazy, because in the vows it says for richer or poorer ladies, good or bad, sickness and health. The minute there's a ripple in the marriage, irreconcilable differences, I want out. He's going down. I don't want to be on the ship. I mean, I'm sorry. The young people today, male and female, we're not built like our parents and grandparents. Sorry, we're just not built like that.
Yeah, but Tisha says even poor people need a prenup. Some people are stuck together because they can't afford the legal fees to get divorced. Yeah, and the other thing too is, what if you came into the marriage with some intellectual property, or you wrote a book or something, and then during that marriage it pops off, right? Like you're a J.K. Rowling's or a Tyler Perry, and you make a lot of money, and that person is like, well, you acquired those things during the marriage, but it's like you had the intellectual property before you got married, and so that kind of stuff needs to be thought about too. And Jab Bad, how you doing? He says his name is Isreal Adesanya. I hope I said that right. By the way, not MMA. So yeah, I know that, but I put MMA, so mixed martial artist girlfriend. So that's why I put that way. And then in the description, I did list his name, I believe. I did not want to put fighter in the title, because YouTube sometimes trips with certain words. So that's why I put it that way. So I hope that helps.
But Demetri, you make a good point, and I agree with you. But unfortunately, in reality, that isn't the case. You could have how many of you of these guys have a house, right? They bought their house from their military benefits or whatever, but they bought their house. Then they meet a woman, whatever. They have a family to settle down. Who usually ends up with that house? She does, and the kids. She does, and the kids. How many people? Wait, how many of my friends were sleeping on my couch because their marriage is a plumber? And I'm telling them, do not leave your home. But they had, they were like, oh, I'm gonna leave, because my wife and kids, whatever. And they ended up with the house. So I mean, even in the best circumstances, you could have all your stuff together, and the system will still make you leave or leave your assets, even though she had no claim to it. But because she got your kids, they're gonna award her the house. And then you're on the street as a man or in an apartment or something.
Yeah, I would say traditionally that's mostly how it works. And Elton, how you doing? It says happy Mother's Day to all. Thank you so much. It says out there, first of all, secondly, some people learn the easy way and some people learn the hard way. This is a valuable lesson. It really is. Because it's like you have a certain amount of things. And as Tisha said, if you don't, learn the laws. See if you're going to be screwed over or not. Giving somebody half you're not even married to and you haven't really been together with that long, that sounds just ridiculous. It's not even a strong enough word. But, as somebody says, she's a white woman, go take him to court and they'll probably say, you poor woman. How dare him? Because it sounds like he probably broke up with her, and so now she's probably jilted and, oh, okay, I'm going to take half. Now, they say she's a real estate agent, so I don't know how much money she's making as a real estate agent. But nevertheless, she won't have his money.
And let's just face it, fellas. The court system is a system that upholds white supremacy in the end. So when Becky comes in there, they are not going to let Becky leave the relationship empty-handed. You better believe that. Let's say he dodges a bullet. He's going to give up something. He's going to give up something. That's just period. A white woman coming in there, period. My brother was married to a Becky. And even though she was a really unfit mother, those are facts. That's not slander. She was really unfit. They still awarded the kids to her, and I mean, it just goes on and on and on. That's why I've never been with a Becky. I have no desire to be with one. You never ran across one, but fellas, there's too many examples of my friends and my family members that got with these Beckys and it never ended well. Too many of them. So I just leave them alone. I avoid.
Thank you, B1. I love and appreciate you for that donation. You say Black men don't blame Black women for following the system. Separate from the system. Donovan, what do you say about that?
Yeah, no, I agree with that wholeheartedly. But unfortunately, let's face it, Black people in this country coming together as a people, that is something that is like a dream too far. It's almost like, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But I agree with it.
Yes, and if I didn't already, I don't know if I did. He is Izzy, as what they call him for short. He is Nigerian. Said New Zealand, Nigerian. So I don't know if he's both or what, but yeah, he definitely is Nigerian. So it's not an American thing, but nevertheless, it's a good lesson, right? Should learn the laws where you live. See if you're gonna potentially be giving up half, and not even that. Look at the money he'll spend to try to keep his money from, a woman who, for whatever reason, feels like she's entitled. So it's like, you think this man started practicing to be an MMA fighter when he met you in 2019? You don't think he already had those skills, training, and abilities, or something? What did you help him do? Did you let him? I could see if you let him punch you in the face a couple of times, and all right, that might be worth some money. But what did you? Because if I was sitting on the bench, I'd be like, all right, looking over the case. Now, what exactly did you help him do, ma'am? You supported him. You was on the sidelines. You was cheering.
Well, she was his personal trampoline. Other than that, what else?
Yeah. He got strangers who do that with him every day. Go, Izzy, go. So what did you really do to help this man become who he is? That I would want to really know that. She better have a damn good answer. You know what I mean?
You know what, though? This topic triggered something in my brain just now. Fellas, I want you guys to think about this. They've legalized weed. They've legalized alcohol, right? They did all these things that used to be like, don't do this, it's a vice. Why do you think they won't legalize prostitution? All the other Western countries do it because they know men will just check out. We will pay our money, do our business, and go. That's why they don't want to legalize it, because they know we would just be out of relationships and just get what we need. I mean, it just hit me just now. It makes sense.
Say that last part again.
Why they won't legalize prostitution in the United States, even though most Western countries do legalize it in the red light district type thing, is because most men, instead of getting in relationships and the offer to take half of their assets, they would rather go ahead and deal with a sex worker and just transactional and be done with it. What do you think?
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but it's like if you're deducing women down to just sex, then yeah, if that's all you're interested in being with a woman with for sex, then by all means, go pay for it. There are some places in the United States, not very many, that you can pay for, right? But if you're looking for so much more than just sex, then I just think it would behoove anybody to settle down to a good choice. Court, make sure that person is on the same page as you. Definitely, don't move in with a person until you want that person to be Mrs. Sadiq or, whoever, because you're gambling at this point. You just never know. And, get things in writing. If it's in writing, there's no fighting. The law trumps emotions all day long, right? Just err on the side of caution. And Tony, how you doing? He says they aggressive too. Ain't scared to push up on them, brother. Yeah, and anybody seen he's got game. I think that was a perfect movie by Spike Lee. He wrote the blueprint on how they do it. And to this day, people are still getting sucker punched with Becky, you know. And Pamela, how you doing? Says, I mean, for those gold digging Becky Karens, what's gonna take for some of y'all black men? Black America, he says, how can we separate from a system that we are in? That sounds ridiculous. It does, but I mean, you raise a good question. How do you go about separating? I'm going to open the link as soon as I get to the bottom of these comments here. And Watu Kelly says, honestly, modern day relationships are trash. Short-term gratification and dalliance are the order of the day. People are delusional. Relationships are investment portfolios, especially for women. Laugh out loud. Well, not for every woman. Some women, a lot of times, you know, when you getting with those women, because see, the problem is, I think where men need to really be honest is, a lot of the women that y'all go after, y'all know what they're about. Y'all see their big booty, they look like an Instagram model, whatever the hell that is. They look like that, and you know, all of that. And that y'all don't ask no more questions. Y'all get involved with these women. Y'all know y'all got to spend a bag on them because they on their Instagram talking about, you know, they need a man to spend a bag on them and all that. So y'all know that kind of stuff. Then when y'all get in relationships with not all those type of women, but you know what I'm talking about. Y'all get in relationships with those women and they do exactly what you saw them doing when you met them. Then you're like shocked. So I don't know. And Jab is saying the people who make these laws obviously don't want healthy families. They promote LGBTQ rather than man and woman. And that is partially true as well.
Democrats.
Hello, Miss White. How are you doing? And happy Mother's Day to you as well, if you are a mother. Anna, how you doing? Happy Mother's Day to you as well. He says, preference tact. Let those preferences and snow bunnies take it all. Woo. Remember, they are fit, feminine, and friendly and submissive.
Amen, sister. Amen. I'm with you on that.
B Wayne says Chinatown, Little Nam, and Sundown Towns. Maybe I missed something, so forgive me for that. BJ, if I didn't already, how you doing? He says he needs to choose better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like,
well, wait, let me say something to that. We always say he needs to choose better. Statistically, in the United States, 60% of all marriages end in divorce. I don't think out of those people that get married, they go in there and saying, you know what, this relationship is not going to work out. So I do really think people that do decide to get married, they're choosing for love and all the other stuff. So how do you choose better when you don't know what the outcome is going to be down the road? If that was the case, please tell me my lottery number so I can get the hell up out of here.
Michael M., how you doing? Says, I'm not feeling a comment about the prostitution. That would not be my mindset. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if that's what all you want a woman for is to hop up and down on it, then I guess. But I think if you really you want to build a relationship with somebody, just make sure you choose wisely.
Wait a minute, Michael. I'm a little upset right now. You mean to tell me you never seen Pretty Woman, Richard Gere, and what's her name?
Julia
Roberts. You never seen that? You can fall in love with. I'm in love with a stripper. Come on, come with it. No.
Oh my God. Anna, he says a lot of men get married because they can't afford a maid or a sex worker. Wow.
Ooh, good point, Anna. Come with it. Shoot, we're here to learn. Give us some facts.
I'm just reading. And how you doing, Maria? I know I said it to you before, but how you doing? He says he sounds about right. Okay. And Pamela says happy Mother's Day, even though it's every day if you're a mom, and the same applies to dads. Yes, dads on Father's Day. Because you know some mamas on Father's Day gonna be like, happy Father's Day to me too. It's like
them strong women's.
Shut up. Damon, how you doing? He says hit it and quit it. Facts, no strings, my people. I mean, yeah, since that's all you into it for, you know, I can't be mad at you about that. Michael, he said, I'm not stealing that comment about why they do not legalize prostitution. I don't believe men would check out just to avoid getting married and losing some of their wealth. And you say, is he a passport bro? You talking about Donovan? Donovan, are you a passport bro?
Well, we know I'm not a passport bro. I'm just a person who lived overseas as a young man. So I know what the real world is about. America is the most hypocritical country on this earth. Most Western countries have a red light district. A lot of your Eastern countries have prostitution is legal. It's no big deal. Only in America do we criminalize people who have sex behind closed doors, but it's not criminal to do it on the internet and on the video sites and all that other stuff. It's just crazy. Very, very, very stupid type situation.
I mean, I don't really have a dog in the fight in the whole thing. My only thing is making prostitution legal. What if somebody wants a refund? Who's going to be in charge of that? Will somebody sample the products and say, well, let me see if it was good quality?
Well, no. See, and again, those would be good points coming from a country who doesn't really have that going. But you've already got Western countries that do that. The women are more secured. They are, they're basically state workers because the state gets taxes from their participation. That's why it's zoned in a certain area. So if we need to answer all of those questions, we just follow our Western cousins and set it up just like that. And you don't really hear too many problems over there with a lot of the prostitution problems that are over there. They know things like this are going to happen and people have wants and desires, and it's no big deal. It's the oldest profession in the world. Come on.
I mean, you're right. In a lot of countries, it's not a big deal to them. It's just, everyday type of thing. America's kind of weird in that they, because Americans based on Christian values, but a lot of these people who making these laws be getting caught up in prostitution rings and stuff sometimes. So, Mike, I love your comments. That just pisses me off that people wait to get into relationships or marriages to start cheating, doing things they never did when they were single. It's like restraint kills them. I totally agree. I, for the life of me, don't understand that either. Why wait until you get involved with somebody to start acting like that? That's crazy. And more than likely, you was involved. You got in a relationship with somebody who was like, okay, I ain't really with all that nonsense. I don't like to be cheated on, blah, 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 blah. You're like, yeah. I never do that to you. And then you do it, right? So I totally agree with you. And it says a stripper is different than a prostitute. Come on, which is true. And not that I know anything about much
that's
about
not true. That's not true. A sex worker is a sex worker. So unfortunately, that's not true. And I'm not saying Anna doesn't know, but I support single mothers, and a lot of us men that have been in Gentlemen's Club, we know Chris Rock even made a thing, things that go on in the champagne room. Sex work is sex work. I don't care how you categorize it. If you think strippers just dance, you're very naive.
Well, I get what she's saying, and that they do kind of have two different definitions. A stripper just does that, takes her clothes off or his clothes off at the strip club. And I've been to a strip club once. It was a male strip club when I was very young, and I was like, this is very gross. And I didn't like it. So I've never been back. So they take their clothes off. Prostitute does a little bit more than that. Now, I think we can say safely that some strippers do some prostitution on the side, but they do have different roles per se, just for definition purposes. And Jab, I'm sorry. It says, Anna, speak love for yourself about a sex worker and live in May. That's more like white person thing. So yeah, you're talking about the comment she says where some men want that. And Anna says, Donovan was in the Air Force. Of course, he's a passport bro. The less they speak English or no American women, and the more they like them.
Well, again, I answered in the question. I'm not a passport bro. I was raised overseas. I'm a world traveler. It's a cut and dry. Now, yeah, these guys that have never been a passport bro are these guys that have never left the United States before. They're going over there making asses of themselves, whatever. Dimitri will tell you, I could be in a place, and when we were in Africa, South Africa, I was like right in the economy, into the bad areas. I go and I submerge myself into that. It's no big deal. I'm not a passport bro. Passport bros are these new phenomena guys that have never been anywhere before, and they're out there just wilding out because they just don't know how to handle what the real world has to offer.
BJ says, ask Tiger Woods how that worked for him, and ain't Trump facing charges because of a prostitute? Yeah, impeached and everything, right? Yeah, Tiger Woods.
Not true. She wasn't a prostitute. She was a sex worker on camera. See? Did you see how it blurs the lines?
Stormy Daniels?
Yes, she was a porn star. She was a porn star. She wasn't a prostitute. She was a porn star.
Did she have some sex with Donald Trump?
She did.
Did he pay her some money?
Yes, he did.
Prostitution.
Yes, but she worked in the sex industry as a porn star. That's what I'm saying. They blur the lines now. So
And
depending on how you look at it.
It's not blurred though, because that's what I said. Strippers and prostitutes are different things. But yes, do strippers do some prostitution on the side? Yeah. So but by definition, they don't do the same thing. Porn stars.
Yes, they do.
I know some strippers that don't, from what they tell me now, they ain't doing nothing strange else for the change, okay? But some of them I do know they are. Just be real with y'all. But yeah, Tiger Woods, his girlfriend is suing him for $30 million for the demise of their relationship, and she's also re-suing him because she said during their relationship he sexually harassed her. And it's like, okay, but yeah, one day you're gonna learn, you know.
Wait a minute. If you're my girlfriend and I touch you, or if we're having relations and I slap your butt, I'm liable for inappropriate touching?
Well, it just depends on how. And contrary to belief, you can sexually assault your wife. You know, that can be a thing. I know it sounds strange, but that can be a thing. Anna says in Amsterdam, it's a regular job and they have healthcare. Been there, done that. That is true. They have a whole system, all that. And in Black America, you also say Amsterdam. And Anna says, y'all romanticize your elders' relationships because y'all want victims. So she's speaking about how people always invoke that of your grandmas and your grandpas and the relationships that they have. But I think most of us know that those relationships weren't always the best either. For whatever reason, they stayed in there. Maybe grandma didn't have a job. And as she said, in some cases, depending on when, divorce wasn't terribly as easy as it is now. So there's a lot of dynamics to it. It wasn't that grandma and grandpa lived this fairy tale life and they never had issues. Grandma was just like, you know, don't blame Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie is just a man. He's doing the best he can. You know what I mean? That was, what's the name of the song? After the pain or after the rain by Betty.
No
Betty
pain, no gain, no pain.
Yeah, that was the song afterwards.
Afterwards,
Don't
right?
blame
After
Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie is just a man.
Yeah, there's a more modern song by the Brand New Heavies. It's called After Forever. They had a song called Forever. And then they had right. But there's another song that answered that. It was called After Forever.
Listen, you can't tell me about no Brand New Heavies. They on my bucket list, bro.
Come on now.
That is my song right there. All right. Black America says stripper and prostitution are the same thing. Come to Vegas. I could see that. But again, if a stripper is in a strip club, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they do allow. Nah, because I think in Vegas, you got to like go off into the rural areas. It's designated that you could do that.
Yeah, there's certain counties. People think that Clark County, you can do prostitution. Not really. It's really out like outside in the other two counties that are near it. But it's not enforced. So, you know, they enforce it.
That's what is it? The Bunny Ranch, the Chicken Ranch?
Yeah, the Bunny Ranch and the whatever other one is.
Hey, those women make bank. I used to watch a documentary, or it's like a reality show about it. I'm like, damn, they're making $2,500 to $5,000 a time. I'm just playing.
Hey, I don't care what anybody says. Jesus hung out with prostitutes. I'm sorry, Mary Magdalene, that was a prostitute. He hung out with them. Not saying he did anything, but I'm saying they're people. They're people just like anybody else. Like in Amsterdam, it's a job just like anything else.
Right. Jay, how you doing? He says, or were they engaged? It doesn't sound like they were engaged. Like the other MMA fighter, Sean, what was his name? O'Malley. He said he didn't even realize the guy had a girlfriend like that. So definitely doesn't sound like they were engaged. You also say, and she also broke a settlement disclosure. Oh, really? And Jay Bubba, how you doing? Says, leave Becky alone. All right. Let's see here. And AD, how are you doing? Jabby say, ask Bill Cosby, they can change the law whenever they feel like it. Look at the man that choked the man out on the you ain't lying, out on the subway. We don't know yet what happened. We have to let the law work. Rhetoric. Exactly. Right. They seen it in broad daylight. Like, well, we need to investigate. It's like, what you need to investigate? I mean, man choked him out for 15 minutes until he died. And then he wasn't even a threat to the dude. So what are we looking for here? Right. But that was, black DA, Alvin Bragg, who was also going after Trump for buying some tail on the side of his wife before he was president. So, and Mike, you say, My granddaddy cheated on my granny over the years and made kids outside of marriage and stayed together over 70 years. Yeah, we all have people in our family who have done that. You know, there's relatives in my family that did that, had two families and all kind of madness. But like you said, grandma stayed, and who knows why she stayed? Maybe it was a financial thing, or maybe she was like, no matter where I go, that joker gonna do the same damn thing, you know. So I might as well stay with the one. I don't know. I would be interested in really having a conversation with someone who stayed in a relationship like that. Like, why did you do it? Like, what? And no judgment. People have their own reasons, but what made you stay? I'd be very interested.
Yeah, remember in the 90s when they were closing all the bases, and they closed a lot of bases overseas, especially like in the Philippines and Thailand and bases that were over there. We had whole military members that had whole other families over there that the families in the States didn't know anything about. And they, you know, and some of these guys, I know it's messed up, but they were stand-up guys, and they went to go get their children, you know, over there, and, or, you know, whatever they were doing. So, yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying that that's popular, but it's not unheard of for men to have children outside of a marriage back in the day, in our parents' day, grandparents' day. That was kind of like, it happens.
Well, it didn't just happen.
Well, but the thing is, it wasn't a big surprise. Like in a lot of cases, you found out about outside children at a grandpapa's funeral when you see this young girl. Then you're like, who's that? Come to find out, there's a, you know, child over there and a child over here, and all of a sudden, not in all cases, but you know, it does happen.
Yeah, you know, I'm putting a link up, you guys, if you want to click on it. It's also pinned on YouTube, but I'm gonna put it up again here in the chat. Yes, Mike, you say better, right? I said having a peaceful man is better than having no man at all. And she was hilarious. Yeah, but that's the ideology that they taught. And I mean, some women are even still living like that, child. You know, I'd rather have some type of a man than none at all. But yeah, that's what they taught. Girl, what you tripping on? You know, Mr. Charles is the man, Mr. Charles. Listen, this is what they also used to say. A man gonna be a man. Ain't nothing you can do about it. I've even heard women say, well, I'm used to him. I know what he's doing is going to do. So if I go get with another man, he's probably going to do the same thing. So I might as well stay and just hang in there, you know.
Hang in there for the kids at least, then leave. A lot of women waited till the kids were grown, then they checked out, you know, in relationships. So
I don't know. I don't advocate anybody staying, even for the children, if you are being emotionally tormented and put physically at risk. And I'm speaking for men too. You're being put at risk physically because people cheat. They can bring home stuff you can't get rid of. And you doing that for the kids? Your kids will want you to be here. There's things you could get that, you know, have you 6 feet deep behind staying with somebody who was out there slinging a thing around. Hey, if we can't co-parent and you not respect me, then, you know, we'll just separate and we'll co-parent that way. But I never advocate people staying for the children. Now, some things, yes, but that kind of stuff, nah, because you ain't going to potentially kill me or have me scratching in public when I don't want to be doing that because you couldn't control yourself. You know, yeah, Bunny Ranch.
But that brings up another good point with in the modern age. You've got these young people, especially young women, because there are always more women there are men in societies because we kill each other and all this other stuff, wars and stuff. What is this called? Polyamorous relationships. They're in polyamorous relationships willingly. I mean, they're doing this willingly. Like I don't know if there's not enough good men to go around or not enough bad men to go. I don't know what it is, but that's a thing now. So.
Yeah, I mean, but in those relationships, polyamorous relationships, people sign up for that, right? They're like, oh yeah, you know, there's 20 people in the bed with us and we love it. They know, right? But it ain't polyamorous if I don't know about it. It's called hot gritness. Because you're gonna
no, you knew about it because Ray had 3 kids on the block and you still went over there and had a baby with him too.
No. And let's see here, Tito, Bunny Ranch. I think it was the name of the Bunny Ranch or the Chicken Ranch, or was that on?
Yeah, there was the Chicken Ranch, the Bunny Ranch, and some other one.
Yeah, that's
because it was a show on HBO, wasn't it, or Showtime?
What I think HBO with the stuff.
Yeah, after night, or it was like after hours at the Bunny Ranch or something like that. It was a pretty good show.
Yep. So you guys, the link is open if y'all want to come on and comment. Jeremy has awakened. How you doing? Dream on, dreamer. Yes, that's my song. Says don't get me started. Says greetings, Demetra and Donovan. Yes, Jesus.
Stay This Way is my jam.
Which one?
Stay This Way.
Yes. Yep. And you say yes, Jesus hung out with a prostitute. Could be in the missing books. Well, he did. But I don't know what he did. He didn't say he did nothing with her now. I don't know. And Pamela says, all this junk with Trump ain't nothing but a distraction to bring in the new system and more. I believe you own or something. Yes, King of Sorrows. Papa was a Rolling Stone. I didn't make the song. What, 5 men? How many was in Temptations? 5, 6 men? They made the song. 5 men made this. It was a 3rd of September. Woo, that's a cold jam. I'm gonna listen to that when I get. Not that my daddy's a Rolling Stone. I mean, it's just a cold jam. The whole the arrangement of it and everything. That man, that's a cold.
Yeah, but
jam.
see, look, one of the most unsung singers out there, and he's one of my favorite, Johnny Taylor. Cheating in the next room. Johnny Taylor. You know? I mean, to think about it, in the 70s, they were telling what was going on in relationships, you know?
Right. Yes, Earth Angel says it was financial and foolish. It's abusive, emotional, and social. I totally agree with you. That's what it was back in the day. You know, she ain't going nowhere. Where she gonna go? You know. And Harley, how you doing? Says, when will these ninjas learn to leave these white women the hell alone? It's a good question. And UV Inferno, he says, my dumbass sister. And what she do? And Mikey said, my granny eventually got used to it and said to him, as long as none of your hoes come to my house looking for you, we good. Laughing my ass off. It ain't that sad. Get it. Grandma was just like, listen. And I've even heard, listen, I got the money. I don't care what they do with him. He's paying my bills. I got access to the checkbook. I don't care. As long as he don't spend no money on him. I've heard those type of things before. And I guess maybe it's just a way of kind of emotionally checking out, physically checking out, and saying, you know what, he gonna do what he gonna do, but he better not spend no money on her. See, that can never be me either, because I'd be in jail. I ain't gonna lie. And Jeremy says, I believe Betty Wright saying a peaceful man created a lot of bad situations. You ain't lying. It did. Because on one hand, there was a lot of women probably like, well, she do got a point. And then the man was like, yeah, you heard what she said. I'll be back. And yes, it is abusive all around. I'm saying, Pamela, I don't want to be scratching in public because you done gave me something because you out there gallivanting around. No, this spare me all of that.
That's our way of keeping you in the relationship. Now you can't go nowhere. You got to deal with me.
I'll tell you what, we won't be in a relationship because I'm going to pour some battery acid in your Kool-Aid, okay? And then I'll potentially be giving all that to the women of Cell Block H after they lock me up. That's the two options that we have here. Joanne says, I have relatives in the Philippines, and my uncle was a stand-up man. Instead of bed hopping for Babylonian excitement, he married his wife, and that is a trait in my family. All stayed married. Those were the days.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A lot of you will find in a lot of your Black military men that went overseas and married over there, they're still with their wives to this very day. I mean, you know, most of the guys that I know, a lot of guys I grew up with were half breeds, you know, half Philippines. Matter of fact, my best friend is Filipino. I'm Filipino, half adopted. And I'll tell you, most of your military, your Black military guys that went over there with and married those women, they're still married to this very day.
And so Janie's saying it's right on the strip. Now, I've been to Vegas and I've seen them like handing out cards, but it seems like you got to go somewhere to enjoy those festivities. So it's not like
they come straight to your room, delivered.
Okay. What you know about that, Donovan?
I read the card. It says delivery right up straight to your room.
How many times did you call that number?
Well, I was out at Indian Springs with the Air Force, so that was a little too far. So I was already in the county, but 4 times.
They said, call room service and say, I want the fish that's on special tonight.
No, but think about this. And Dimitri, you go to Vegas. You used to go to Vegas all the time. You were recently there about a month ago. You know, you cannot take any of those sex workers up those hotels because they got the security guys right there. So, I mean, it's almost a no deal type situation.
Yep. And Joanne says, and Donovan, you need to stop talking about the Son of God as if he has sex with them. That's just nasty.
Yeah, I responded that. No, I'm not saying that God had sex with them. I never said that. I said the fact of the matter is, if we read our Bibles correctly, or whatever we believe, if you looked at it, Jesus hung out with the lowliest of the low people, tax collectors. That was considered like, when you're a tax collector, that was Paul, the Apostle Paul. That was like one of the worst things you could be, was a tax collector. Prostitutes, people that were the rejected. That's what God or Jesus hung out with, to show that. What did he say? And I'm not a scholar like that. The lowliest of my brother is, and so on, so on.
Yeah, something like basically about the least of them, and all of that. Don't get me to quote in the Bible at this moment. My brain is fried. I've been up early working. Let's see here. I want to go back to this comment here. Also, UV said, and how you doing, Miss Kimmy? How are you? No, not there. You say she loves her bum. So he's talking about your sister is with a bum. Yeah, sometimes those it's hard to shake those bums. You know, we love him. He gonna get it together one day. Y'all just wait and see. He's gonna be something, and then he's not. Jeremy says, "Who's making love with your old lady when y'all making love?" Yes. Who's making love to your old lady? I'm dating myself now. What's the other one? A woman's gotta have it. That's my jam right there. Bobby Womack. Let's see here. Tawana. You said, I worked in the medical records department for 30 years. A lot of grandmothers have serious medical issues due to what they just accepted as normal in their marriages. Woo! Like, I could not imagine being a grandmother, right? And then having to go, because if you're a grandma, and especially we're talking about our grandmas back in the day, they went to menopause and all that other stuff, right? And then they got to go into the emergency room. They're like, some just ain't fresh down there, baby. And then they get told that Buster done been out there doing stuff he shouldn't have been doing. I like, that is so horrible. And I saw somebody say you can get penicillin or whatever. Some things you can't get penicillin for. Some things you're going to have for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So it's like, why do that to people? Because I also always say, when we think about somebody cheating per se, we think of they didn't have mommy sex. Okay. That was a fun 2 minutes for me, right? It was just like that. But we know when people cheat, they doing all the stuff. They was in the inbox saying, girl, I rock your world. I'm going to turn you upside down. We're going to be swinging from the chandeliers. And, we're going to use you're going to be a 3-holer tonight. They do all, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't just like you see in the soap operas. Oh, Bob. Oh, Jan. It's a lot worse than that. And then you bring that home to somebody who loves you and is not expecting you to do all of that. So don't give grandma stuff she can't get rid of, or grandpa, because there's some grandmas out there tricking too. Don't do that to people. If you don't want to be with that person, don't be with them. Or if you want to creep, say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about going to give me something on the side. You all right with that? At least let that person know. But don't hit them over the head with nothing with that at the emergency room. Black America, I'm going to bring you up and let me mute you really quick. Let's see here. And Joanne, you say, they're the ones that need to be saved. They need a doctor, not the ones who think they got it all too. And Micah says, I had a cousin tell her boyfriend that she'd walk through the fire like Shaka Khan for him. I told her he'd be on the other side with a bucket of water because he didn't want her, laughing my ass off. Now, see, that's just a little too extreme. I get it. I've been, in that position, not quite to be walking over no fire for no Negro. I just, I let it burn and take my bumps and bruises and go heal somewhere. But all of that, no. Donovan said those were the best 2 minutes of your life, Demetra. Okay. Damon says flew to is it to the what's the PLV in Northern Air Force?
PI. Philippines.
I know about Northern Air Force Base. That I do know about. Okay.
Soul night Thursdays. Soul night on Wednesdays and Norton on Thursdays.
Yes, the teacher said that's the party. That's the part they don't talk about. Absolutely, grandma in there or grandpa Like he gave me what? I ain't never heard of that before. Who was that?
Well, let's even think about this. What about those aunts that you guys have that, you wonder why she never had any children? Because she got burned and it messed up her fertility system. So that did happen a lot back in the day.
Yeah. BJ, you crazy. He says all the girls turn up to the retirement home at the first of the month. They never stop. Right. How you doing, Big Daddy? Social Security check come today? Hey, our son, how are you doing? Tisha says these diseases, the bonus families, the headaches, but they want traditional wives. Child.
Yes, why can't we have it all? Y'all got educated. Why can't we have it all? Y'all want it all. Why can't we have it all?
We are doing well. Arson, hope you are doing well as well. Okay, Black America, how you doing this fine day?
I'm good. Happy Mother's Day to you, D. How are you?
I'm well.
What's up, Donovan? What's going on, buddy? All right. I just got, I've been, you done seen me in the chat. I got a couple of bones to pick with you on this beautiful Mother's Day here in Vegas. For one thing, strippers are prostitutes. I live in Vegas, and as long as you got $5 extra, you can get anything you want. And you don't got to go nowhere. And Donovan, to answer your question, I did work at the biggest and best hotel in Vegas for 15 years as a bellman. And it depends on which girl it is. They will let you right up to the room with that girl. It doesn't matter. I got some crazy stories on that. I would have to take that offline for you. So one thing, Miss D, with the men and the women, you act like these women ain't been out here slanging this thing and got different baby daddies for years. Also, you act like it's just the men. I had two grandmothers, and both of them had kids by multiple men, multitudes. Both my grandmothers had 13 kids apiece. They had multiple men by multiple kids. So it's not just the men going out. You are so one-sided when it comes to these things. Oh, that's what I want to get back to. You said something last week about what men die from early. Did you look up the same factors as far as the thing that's killing women the most in America and their obesity rate in America? Because the only thing you did was point out men are dying from heart disease and men are dying from this. You didn't say, okay, well, let's flip that coin over and look at the things that actual Black women are dying from. You got to be a little bit more fair to the brothers. Like, we love coming and watching you, but turn that pillow over to the cool side sometime for us. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. It's okay to point it out because we don't care. You can point it out all you want, but be fair about it. You guys are doing this. Oh my God, I didn't realize that 80% of Black women were overweight and 60% of that is obese. You know what I mean? So it's just, that's it. And as far as this young man, stay away from them white girls, guys. You know what I mean? If you gonna get a woman to jack you, put some paperwork in or have a Black woman do it. I don't know what to tell you. And he's African, so I don't really care about him per se. But yeah, good luck with that. I hope that it all works out for the best. I'm not gonna say if it works out for him or I don't think she deserves anything because she didn't get in the ring and kick nobody butt or get punched in the face. And he needs to have clear boundaries on what he needs to be saying to the young lady. All right, go ahead. I seen you writing stuff down. I know you got your retort. Come on back, counselor.
First of is, I want to address what you said about me not addressing the Black women health issues. We weren't talking about Black women. We were talking about the brat and why she did not select a black male donor because she was getting a lot of heat. And so I broke down some numbers and, just to kind of, say there's some validity to what she's saying as far as there being not enough available black male sperm donors. That's what it was. Now, on this show, and I've been doing this for a long time now, I have spoken a copious amount of times about the health issues of both black men and women. As you guys see me sometimes, I work out quite a bit, and I'm trying to eat better. So I don't think that I was blaming black men. I was just talking about the numbers as I saw them. Also, you saying that me being one-sided, I know I said at least 10 times on the show that it happens to both people. In fact, right before you came on here, I said it's not just grandma going to the ER. It's there's grandmas out there tricking as well and giving grandpa something he can't get rid of. So I don't even know what you're talking about as far as me being one-sided. And anybody who's followed me, and Donovan, don't you lie to kick it or I'll kill you when I come see you. But I love you, though. Anybody's watching me will tell you I'm pretty even-sided. I'm not terribly on one side or the other because I'm not. Donovan will tell you this has kind of always been our mantra. Donovan is more black and white, and I'm more in the middle because I like to see both sides of things. But y'all can't rope me into what they would call like a divester type of attitude or a sister that's adverse to black men, because that's just not me. You will not find anywhere on this internet where I have dogged black men at all. Now, I might have said something that, is maybe not nice to hear, but there's a lot of other videos of me talking about sisters. In fact, you want to know, if you don't believe me, go look. Most of my highest watch videos is when I'm taking the sisters to task. When I say something to men, that's rarely the case. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't think you're really listening to me because I'm not just one-sided. I'm one of those people I like to kind of, I see both for what it is, because I don't think that that no one is perfect, not even myself, even though I know sometimes y'all look and be like, damn, she's perfect. I'm just playing. That was a joke. It was a joke. For those of y'all that didn't understand, it was a joke. I'm just saying, I think everybody's got some work to do. So.
Oh, okay. I did see that thing about the brat. I as far as that goes, I don't really, for one thing, I don't think us as straight men have really any care or any sympathy for two women that want to have kids. Then as far as donating in that form, they don't pay you enough. They don't really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm supposed to go in there and whack one out for somebody I don't know. Like, they don't they don't pay you enough for that, And with her, she said, and what she said was kind of funny, the black dude, he looked like a frog or a toad or whatever it was. Like, I mean, if that's what she wants, the brat is still a halfway decent woman. She could have got laid by anybody. You know what I mean?
But again, that's not how the dynamics of the relationship work. I don't know if she's ever been with a man. I'm not into the brat like that, but she gay. She with a woman, so I don't think they want what a man's got. Like, they want what he can give, but they don't want to get it that way. Does that make any sense? Now, I don't know really a whole lot about it, but I can only imagine that's why the brat didn't lie down with a man. You know what I mean?
She definitely has been with a man, and I know that I know that for 100% fact. She's been with a man. I met her and Lisa. I didn't know her and Lisa Ray was sisters until they came to Vegas one time. I was with both of them. I know that they like men. Well, back then. Yeah. She actually even put it in the song. The brat is attracted to him, her, and you. A long time ago. So yeah, but I understand what you're saying. She has money and she can get what she wants. I just don't know why we as a people have to keep putting it all on the internet about, like, no, I don't know. Donovan, do you care about what the brat is doing with her nether regions with and getting pregnant and who she pregnant by?
Nope, don't care. And the black sperm is wanted in these sperm banks because there's not enough brothers giving up our seed, and so they want us to go ahead and for $1.75 to drop it in a container. And a lot of brothers, we're just not with that. So I mean, it's hard to come by in that aspect when you can get the real thing. I mean, all these brothers out here, you can get the real thing, but again, I mean, she is fine though. I remember that album with what's that song with her and Tyrese? What You Like?
What do you like?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like? That and that is the exact song I'm talking about right there. What do you like? So I mean, it's cool. She wanna be however she wanna be, and this is America, and Donovan and my sons fight for people to have that freedom. Just because you have that freedom don't mean I have to give a damn about your freedoms. Just don't step on mine. The lead attorney, if you guys know who TLA is, the lead attorney had a great stream, a superb stream on this exact topic about the black men and them donating at the sperm banks.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't really know a whole lot about the donation process, but I think with anything you should be leery of where you put your DNA, right? So, and they also talked about that on the show Wednesday. A lot of men said, well, we don't really trust that, and we don't know what they're doing with it. So that's probably why a lot of black men don't donate it either. And we've also heard of cases where people have got tracked down for child support. So it's like, wait a minute now. I thought I would just leave it in the cup and going about my business, So yeah, that would deter me if I was a man. It wouldn't be something I would do.
And real quick, Tito says $1.75. When I say $1.75, what I mean is, and I got this from the lead attorney when I saw that episode he was doing, was what it is these sperm banks, they want guys to come in there and they lowball the donor for his sperm. So let's say $1.75. Let's say they give you $100. Big deal. But they charge the women thousands of dollars to get the exact sperm. So that's what we're saying. And brothers are pretty smart. We're like, nah, we ain't doing that. If you're going to charge these women $5,000 to take my sperm, why shouldn't you pay me a certain amount of money? So now it's becoming a big market in regards to DNA genetics, and these women who don't want to be with men but want children to do that, and they're going to pay a high price.
Yeah, so I mean, there's levels to it. Like I said, if I was a man, it wouldn't be something I would do. But I guess it says a lot. You should just try to have it the traditional way. But then there's some people who aren't in what they call traditional relationships. As I said, I don't have a dog in the fight of any of that, so I try not to get too involved in any of that. Can be crazy. Look what she said, because you did overtime what they said. And low ball. That's part of the problem. Some of they is too low. As I said, y'all know y'all getting old when y'all sit down and y'all accidentally sit on one and like, yeah. That, they done drop like, woo.
And it's so funny. Women keep saying about how men keep getting old. Men can produce all the time. Look at Serena Williams' father. You know what I mean? I got an uncle who's in his 70s, and he still bangs them out. So men can always produce, because that's something that you guys are born with a set amount, and we just keep naturally producing. So it's a big difference in the time frame in which it's like people talk about age gap dating. I always like to ask people, how old was Mary, Jesus's mom, when they gave her to Joseph?
She was like 13, 14. Yeah.
She was a kid, and he already had kids who was older than her. That is the way that this world has always ran. It's just up until recently that, you come over here and things change. Hell, I was with the Swami King, and he had about 4 wives, and the youngest one, I was like, man, she younger than my daughter. You need to be in jail. But Hell, the FBI or the Secret Service was backing him with what he was doing. So it doesn't matter as far as how old a man is when
Well,
it comes to things of that nature.
I get it. And yes, Hula Gang, how you doing, by the way? It was a joke. Um, we know everybody gets older, except for me. I'm like Benjamin Buttons. I go backwards. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, yeah, men can have children until they die, I guess, but I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm 52 and I don't have that issue anymore. I've going through, I don't know, menopause, and I'm glad I can't handle babies into my 50s. That I can imagine, right? I'll be almost 70, well, older than 70 now. When my child is 18, I'm good. So
yeah. My grandmother stopped having kids when she 46. She stopped at 46. She had over 26. She had over 25 live births.
Yeah, hello, complex blackness. How you doing? He says, hold on, bro. I'm shaking my head. And Elton says Robert De Niro needs to stop. It's like the old age saying, just because you can don't always mean you should. Yeah, he just had a child at the age of 79, and didn't he just get a divorce from a sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she kept spending his money, god dog it.
Sound like she spent a whole lot more because she got quite a bit in the settlement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what was that old actor? He was like 89. Anthony. He started in Zorba the Greek and those guys. He's an old school actor. He was like 89 when he had his child, and then he died like within the year the child was born. He died. So
that got to be all money, because I can imagine being a woman that can still produce a child and having a baby with a 79-year-old man. I'm like, oh no, hell no. You're gonna have to put in your prenup a husband for me, because you ain't gonna be here that long to help me raise this child.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tisha K says Tony Randall. I was just thinking of that too. Tony Randall from The Odd Couple, the TV show, and other famous movies he was in. He was an older man when he had his child. So Anthony Quinn was it? That's what I was thinking.
Yep, that's Tawana says Anthony Quinn. And Dark Titan says there's stories about women who are older than 50 having kids. Yeah, I saw one today, as a matter of fact. There's an African sister somewhere. Looked like she had triplets. I think she was 54 years old. And it's like, a hell to the no.
Well, Janet Jackson was what, 51, 52 when
something
she had
like
her
that, yeah. She was in her 50s.
But they need help when they do that. Women don't just have triplets. Okay, that's a very out of the ordinary thing. Like it used to be John and Kate plus 8. That was help to have, for that woman to have that amount of kids.
Yeah,
I like to say. I like to. Right. I like to say puppies. She's a bum and he's working at Target or something right now. Like they all messed up. You know what I mean? They trying to make a comeback. So when you going around and you're that old, your body has to have help. You have to have eggs. You have to. They need to shoot you up with shots, estrogen, and all of these other things to make you back into a viable candidate to have a child.
Well, I say God bless anybody who wants to do that. I'm just glad it ain't me. Had my child 30 years ago, and that's it. Tisha says, I had my last baby at 38, and I questioned my mentality at the time. Yeah, I mean, it happens. People do. They have children later on in life or whatever. I just couldn't be one of them. I would go nuts. I already know. Like, if I was to have a child right now, that child would be bad as hell. I'd be like, listen, it'd be smart, but it'd be bad. Just don't burn the house down. Leave me alone, okay? I wouldn't even have it in me. Like, if I have great nieces and nephews, I love them to death. I'm like, they can't have no candy? Wait a minute. And I come and show up with a whole bunch of candy, to buy them stuff they ain't supposed to have. I'm like, that ain't my problem. That's y'all problem. So I'm not in the disciplinary stage of my life anymore.
Well, I think Brittany could handle your babies.
They would have to. I give them to my daughter and my other, nieces and nephews. Here, y'all, just let me know how much my contribution is every month. And I'll come and say, how y'all doing? I love you. Okay, let me go back to what I was doing. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, and you guys can click on the link if y'all want to come on. You settle down to a good choice, honestly. We think, again, this is something, I guess it's kind of a new conversation, because we're hearing a lot about people who are shacking. And then when it comes down to it in the court of law, it's like, Well, you guys were just shagging. You're not owed anything. You know what I mean? You didn't have your name on anything. Uh, you didn't, you just kind of left yourself out there. And so you got to be wise when you're getting in relationships. And if it's not somebody you want to see get married to, see yourself with, then why are you with that person?
Well, Dee, we recently had a friend of ours that's going through that, his situation, and it was just crazy. She felt she had rights, and that wasn't the case because they weren't married.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that's going through that, unfortunately, and it's really about educating yourself, just knowing what your rights are. If you are with somebody for a significant amount of time, and I don't know, I just think we come to a point in life, especially when you're older, you shouldn't be leaving yourself unprotected. As my mom and dad always taught, God bless the child that's got his own, right? There's a lot of times when people break up in relationships and they have nothing. But I listen to the wise women. My mom was one of them. Have something for yourself. Like I always tell you guys, my mom was a stay-at-home mom up until I was 18 years old. But guess what? My mom had a nursing degree. My mom was a writer. She had her own publishing company. She published books. She had skills and things that she could do in case it didn't work out. My mom wasn't just what they would call an injured spouse, where it's like, oh, I didn't know what to do. My mom was like, all right, didn't work out, whatever. Let me go on and do what I got to do. And so the older women, see, this is where they come in, imparting wisdom upon the young ones. I'm not telling you to, sucker punch a dude over the head for his riches type of stuff, but make sure that you're taken care of, like have something you know how to do in case it don't work out. Gone are the days, like we keep hearing stories about our grandmas and all of them that are like, oh, I stayed because I didn't know what else I was going to do. No, we shouldn't be in that situation anymore. And I'm not saying that, to discount the man, but have something to fall back on. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. But what you're not telling the people, Dimitri, is not only did your mom have all those things in her toolbox, she was an attractive woman, so she could go out and easily get another man that quick. I'm literally, you guys, this was a beautiful woman. When I first saw her, I was like, oh my God, that's how beautiful this woman was. So, not saying that she would have to rely on her looks, but unfortunately, we got a lot of people, men and women, that think, well, I got my degrees, I got this, or I got 6 figures. Hey, some people are looking at your looks. They want you because you're attractive, or they want this. You got to do the whole package, not just a one-trick pony, if you know what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Black America.
Yeah, can I submit a train of thought? So let's look at it this way. And you said something a little bit earlier that somebody shouldn't stay if they're being abused or mentally, or however it was said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at it this way. Your mother, she was with your father. She had a nursing degree.
Yeah.
And her and your father separated.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
But your mother was taken care of.
Oh yeah.
See, okay, so the women that are our age, because we're all roughly the same age, the women that are our age, besides you, there's nobody to take care of these women. They just have kids and hoping that their kids are going to be able to take care of them. They don't have anything. My ex has 3 or 4 degrees, but owns her house, owns her car outright, like have the deed, no payments, no nothing, has a job, and is always broke because women, for the most part, spend an exorbitant amount of money, and the jobs that they have, even if they are degreed, they don't pay anything. I know a firefighter woman, she makes decent money. I know a couple of ER nurses, they make decent money. And a lady who runs political campaigns, she makes decent money. Every other woman, and a hairdresser, every other woman, somebody that's working as a maid, somebody that's working in a Target, these are the jobs that when you go into most places that you see women doing. So there is no fallback. So my thing is, when you put the time and effort and energy in with a man, you get your uh upcomings or coming ups on the back end, because most times we're going to die before you. That's how it always is, because men work basically, unless you get hurt, men basically work until the day they die. Most men be like, I don't feel good, cough, cough, end up in the hospital for a week or 2 weeks, and then they're gone. Unless they come up with dementia or something like that. And then everything that man has accumulated over the time then goes to the woman. These women that have houses right now and buying houses, how long are you think their jobs are going? Their jobs are in jeopardy. Their job have you been into a Walmart lately? It's only two people working at Walmart now. Everything is automated. What happened to all of those women? You know what I mean? So
I hear what you're saying. Again, there's levels to stuff. But there are men that work in Walmart too. We know that AI is taking over, and not just Walmart, but a lot of places. So there's a lot of men. I'm putting mic. I mean, mic. There's a lot of men that are being laid off as well. And as far as women not making a lot of money, yeah, I guess either traditionally speaking, women make less than men, depending on what it is. But all the women I know, for the most part, are self-sufficient, taking care of themselves without any man. So I'm not quite sure the women, but most of the women I know, they're doing just fine, and they're not relegated to a warehouse or a Walmart, or anything like that. So I don't know, but as far as women getting what a man has once he dies, I mean, if you've been married to somebody for some time, then that's y'all stuff. You know what I mean? And so whoever dies first, yeah, the law says, and that says written somewhere else, that it's yours. You know what I mean? So it's not like because it almost sounds like she's in servitude or something. She just does her humble duty, then she'll get what he has. But if in a marriage or a union, they've amassed stuff together. That's why they say what you've acquired during the marriage, then it belongs, they split it or whatever, depending on what the laws are. But I don't know. I just don't totally agree with that. BJ, I'm going to bring you up here.
Hey, how's everybody doing? How's it going?
It's going well. How about yourself?
Oh, it's going really good.
Good to see you back. Good to see you back. What's
on
your mind? What's on your mind?
I was just listening to the conversation, and I'm just thinking, for the majority of families that was in my community, it was a minority of where the man took care of the whole family. Both of them were out there collecting a paycheck. And the thing is, now, even back then, even currently today, our wages is normally less than the average of other communities. And then you bring that in, and you were talking about how AI is coming in. AI is not just getting rid of people at Walmart. AI they're making where it's getting rid of the truck drivers, it's getting rid of the people that manufacture. And if we're not sitting down there and looking at what's coming quickly, I thought we had years and maybe decades, but this is coming fast to do something about it. How are any of us, because somebody was mentioning 50% of women are being evicted. Why are they being evicted? Because when the housing crisis came through and literally put most people out of their homes, because we're going to make sure the banks are covered for those foreclosures, people had to go and rent. The housing crisis came through in 2008. Everything was much cheaper. Now you're talking about that same house that was going for $30,000 in 2010 is now $300,000.
You want to hear something crazy real quick? I mean to cut you off. Do you know what the median house in California is right now?
What, 1.5, 2 mil?
$750,000.
Yeah, believe it. And that's just the average house, not nothing that got bells and whistles or even a driveway. And that's all over this country. I mean, that's the sick thing about it. All over this country. We're not even talking about areas that even smallly it resembles what California has. You're talking about something that look like, whoa, what bomb came through this area? One house maybe 30,000 and ain't even got a floor in it, and the next house is going for $300,000. And if we don't come together and stop this individualistic, my money, your money, look, the man could take all of our money by dropping us right onto the unemployment line. How do we survive? Back in the past, we worked together. Now it's like, no, that's me. No, that's you. But how is our kids and our families going to survive if we all trying to hold on to something that's going to be taken away from all of us if we don't get ourselves together?
And the other thing too is a good point. The other thing, as far as AI, what's going on in Hollywood right now? They're striking. They're writers, actors, everybody's striking because the movie studios are like, well, we'll get was it GPT
chat GPT.
Yeah, all these AI apps and stuff to do the writing and all that. And they're like, wait a minute, you're freezing us out. And so the point that I'm making is those people make good money, men and women, and they're all on the picket line saying, now y'all gonna have to, y'all getting rid of us for these robots. But we've always known that was gonna happen. It's been in the works for a very long time. Now, a lot of people think the Terminator movie is just a movie, but if you watch it, it's speaking to what is going on today. AI, for those of you guys who do not know, is artificial intelligence, where artificial intelligence is involved in everything you have. My watch, I heard it a minute ago or a while ago. I said something and it thought I was talking to it. So these things are starting to take over. They're in your cars, they're in your house, they're just computers, they're everywhere, right? And so one of the candidates that I followed in 2016 was that of Andrew Yang. I liked his campaign, and he really spoke a lot of truth to what was going on with AI. He said, especially for the Black community, he says, you guys are out of time. It is, won't take long for you guys are completely out of money because AI is going to come in and dilapidate whatever net worth you may have. And so there needs to be something done, which is why he was trying to implement the UBI, Universal Basic Income, of $1,000 to $2,000 a month, saying this will help. And and like you said, BJ, the trucking industry is also going to AI, where the trucks will drive themselves. And he said it's unrealistic to say, okay, well, now those truck drivers need to go and learn about AI because everybody's not inclined to do that. So, like you said, we need to figure out some things to do. But Carter G. Woodson said in Miseducation of the Negro, the things that we in the Black community, for whatever reason, do not value, like grocery stores, cleaners, laundromats, mechanics, we need to go back to those things because those things are still needed, even though in a lot of places they are becoming more AI inclined, but it's hurting everybody. You go to the bank.
Can I say something about the truck drivers?
Sure.
All right. Me being a truck driver, we are not at all concerned. Not at all. I'm gonna give you a few different reasons, right? Do you guys know anything about bridge laws?
Bridge loss?
Bridge laws, like LAWS, bridge laws. So a bridge law is that, for instance, in California, your truck or vehicle can't weigh over 80,000 pounds, right? As a combination vehicle. Do any of you guys know how much a Tesla weighs? A Tesla weighs as much as a 67 Cadillac. Very heavy.
Yeah.
Have anybody ever picked up a car battery? Car batteries are very heavy, very dense, very compact. If you drive from LA to Vegas, Donovan, have you ever drove from Riverside out here to Vegas? You drove by Baker and Barstow and you see all of those cars charging it would be a logistical nightmare to try and have a truck only go 100 miles and then have to charge. Nothing would get anywhere. The vehicle would weigh so much. Imagine a batteries having to pull a truck, a truck that weighs 60 to 80,000 pounds. Imagine how many batteries you would have to have, how far you could go. We as truck drivers, self-driving trucks, yeah, it sounds real good, but it's none of it, and that's why you don't hear us truck drivers talk about it. We talk about it amongst ourselves.
And I get your point, but you got to understand the way these people and these politicians work. Everything you're saying is true, but then they could flip it up. Okay, we know that the battery is 70 pounds. Well, then we're going to have these trucks that only brings the batteries, that only brings the doors, that only bring this, and then have a assembly facility based in every state to then reassemble it once they get to that destination. These are evil people. They don't care about none of us. If you're going to have a robot who can't buy nothing, now you got a pill that is Bill Gates' company that's putting a wax film on your fruits and vegetables that can be read by a computer program to determine the lifespan of what else is in that wax that they're now going to put on our fruit and vegetables. And you think it's not going to seep into or what is been altered in these fruits and vegetables that allow now this computer to be scanned and read the vegetables. These are evil people. They don't care. Logic has never been one of their foresight.
Let me jump in for just a second. I want to address two things really quick here. Where'd it go? I was like, damn, that's a word right there. Where did it go? Yes, here. Big Rich. And if I didn't already, how you doing? It says the guy that called the grandfather of AI said there's no need to go to school for coding. AI is doing it already. Now, if that don't freak you out, I don't know what will. And I want to go to this comment here. Blue Dragon, you say, I'm sure warehouse workers wasn't worried about AI either until they got handed a check. And we don't need those services anymore. Corporations are aiming for AI because robots don't get paid and they don't get sick and they don't need vacations and all that other stuff. I'll tell you this really quick. I worked at the Frito-Lay, started there in 1995, and we would always hear, oh, this is going to be automated. Oh, it's going to be automated, because everything when I worked there was done by humans. And slowly but surely, now I left there in 2006, and slowly but surely we saw automation coming in, and less people were being hired. That was 2006. Now my friends that still work there, they're like, this whole thing is automated. There's like hardly any humans that work here at the Frito-Lay factory. So you make a good point. People were hearing that and they thought, nah, they never gonna happen. And guess what? It's happening. So Black America, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just saying she jumped from, trucking and AI to fruit and wax, which, I mean, they do that as a protective coating while it's in transit, but that's neither here nor there. It's a lot of things that you guys, as far as me being in the transportation field, it's a huge disconnect on what you guys actually see, think, and what's actually going on. You guys I take gas to California weekly. From Vegas, we take gas to California weekly.
No, I mean, and I understand exactly what you're saying. You're absolutely right. But what my point was is that they are changing every field and industry here, and it's happening really quickly. So what we're used to now, like again, programming, we used to have people program. Now they're trying to teach the machines to program themselves. It's all about more control. It's never just the surface value of what they're doing. It's about now that we have all the information and we can make it become whatever we want it to become. We have control. Electric vehicles don't make any sense, but it makes sense if I want to control those vehicles, where they go, where they don't go, when they stop, how they stop. It's about the control. And we're getting to the point where how do we stop or slow this down?
We don't. That is completely out of our control. The ones that own the means of production, they're the ones that's pulling the wheel. We know that there's hardly any middle class anymore, and the proletariat, the working class, they're going to be pretty soon out of a job as well. They're bringing in the machines. But if you also follow I guess the story and the history of AI, you know that eventually once it becomes self-aware, it's supposed to take over even the rich, right? It's going to be like, okay, we don't need none of y'all anymore. And we're seeing lots of examples like that. Donovan and I, we've talked about this quite a bit. Donovan being a pilot, he could tell y'all what happened to those planes that crashed. I think it was in 2019. Those planes, tell them, Donovan, tell them what had happened was.
Which planes that are we talking about? There's a lot of crashes recently.
It was 2019. There was two of them. One was in Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, the Malaysia 17?
Yeah.
The one that disappeared?
And another one that crashed. What happened? What couldn't the pilots do?
Oh, and one of the plane crashes, I'm going to summarize because it's really deep, but one of the plane crashes was they couldn't override the autopilot. The planes nowadays basically fly themselves. And when you see a pilot in a commercial airline, it is only regulated that a pilot has to be in control of the plane 100 feet to the ground and 100 feet away from the ground. Once it gets over 100 feet, the autopilot kicks in and the plane flies itself. The pilot is there just to monitor it. So a lot of your crashes, even though they attribute a lot of it to human error, maybe the pilot did this, he disengaged and took it in there. A lot of it, the planes engaged them. And I'll give you a better example. How many of you guys remember the Southwest, the 737X, that new one that was like crashing all the time, the Southwest plane? That was because the plane was getting bad input in its programming and it kept crashing the plane and they couldn't understand why. So AI is a real scary situation. They couldn't override it.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying about my industry as far as trucking. How many people have you guys seen on the road cut off truckers? How many truckers have to make split second decisions because of things that other people do on the road? It's just if you put a computer behind there and something goes wrong in the field we are basically rolling bombs. If you take 9,000 gallons of gas and you're riding along the highway, you are a rolling bomb. If you have livestock in the back of your trailer and it's pigs and cows and chickens all over the road, it's right now, I'm not saying 50 years from now or 30 years from now, I won't be here. I'm saying right now, it is just not feasible. It's not.
Well, and the other thing too is I have actually been over the road. My ex-husband was a truck driver. He was a truck driver, and I spent 30 days on the road with him, and I was like, I never, ever want to do that again. And you're right, Black America. There is a lot that people don't understand, like say getting cut off, and it's just a lot going on there. And Elton, you ain't never lied. You said the word Skynet has been activated. If you watch Terminator movies, then you know what that is referring to. Basically is on and cracking. But the other thing too is how many doctors are now not finding it as easy to get jobs, because what do they have in the operating room now? AI. There's robots that do
robots all over there doing surgeries.
Yeah, they're doing surgeries now. So I mean, the AI is everywhere. Let's see here. Blue Dragon says, Donovan, please don't use the white man. I'm considered Caucasian, though I'm mixed and have multi-mixed family. I'm here to support your views and opinions if they are reasonable. No race cards.
Yeah, I just responded to Blue Dragon, and I basically said this. I never use the race card. I use adjectives. Adjectives, white, black, whatever, is an adjective to describe the difference between a group of people. That's what I'm using as an adjective. So like if me and you were walking down the street and somebody says, that guy, the black guy, it's just an adjective.
Yeah. And Tisha, like you said, robotics, that's what's going on. And Simone, how you doing? Says a bomb on wheels is what I call them. Yeah. I mean, it could be, I've heard of some Teslas. It wasn't too long ago, a self-driving Tesla, it wrecked and it killed a bunch of people or something like that. So those things aren't perfect, neither are humans, but they even have Ubers, from what I understand, that are AI. I would not be getting into one of those. One of those things pulled up and be like, nah, I'm gonna wait for the next one, because we know computers do malfunction. I had to send my earbuds or my AirBuds or whatever they are back to Apple twice because they malfunction, right? They don't work. So the point that I'm making is they're not perfect. Humans aren't either, but I'd rather go with a human any day of the week, I think.
Yeah, and you want to talk about real reality. When I was in Afghanistan, they have currently right now self-aware drones that engage on their own. The pilot is now gone, and the planes are engaging by themselves. And so that, number one, it saved lives. Of course, you don't have a human being in danger, but a lot of people think that's just movie stuff. No, this is real stuff. These things are engaging. And the difference is, what if that code is wrong or the IFF transponder is off and you happen to be down there and the robot can't tell? All they see is a human. Boom.
Hey, Donovan, what if someone hacks into it?
Right, exactly.
And the other thing too is this. And RC says, I don't get it. Why even build that stuff in the first place? Because humans are stupid. Humans are stupid, and we think we can outsmart things. I tell you guys all the time. Stephen Hawking, who has passed away now, he was heavily into AI. He was a physicist, and among a whole host of other things. Bill Gates and Elon Musk said they're all afraid. Like, this is weird, right? They're all afraid of AI. We know that Elon Musk, depending on who's in the running with him, is the wealthiest man in the world, and he's the wealthiest man in the world by using AI. But they all said that it would behoove humans to figure out how to get along with it because they are going to take over. But yet they continue to do stuff like that. So in a nutshell, it's because humans are stupid and greedy, right? There's never enough of more. We want to try to keep reinventing stuff, even to our own demise. You look at the environment, for example. Look how horrible the environment is compared to what it was 40 years ago, right? We didn't have the issues we had. Case in point, well, I remember during the pandemic when everybody was stuck in their houses. If you looked outside, grass was growing, and nature was like, oh, these mothers are, they're locked in a house and we can thrive. Perfect example. There's this mountain that I would climb when I lived in California, and I could see it from my house. And during the pandemic, before the pandemic, you can see where trails were all up through the mountain where humans would trek on. But during the pandemic, all of the trails like grew in with grass because they weren't allowed to go up there. So point that I'm making is humans just keep on destroying things, thinking that we're making things better. And then pretty soon we're all running and ducking from machines because they after us, right? But it is scary. Another thing too, I was going to say, where was it just recently? Just slipped my mind. It's in Africa where they're having a civil war. It just slipped my mind. Sudan, where they were trying to evacuate the American citizens from over there. United States sent drones to help look over them getting on the buses to get out of there. They didn't send troops. They sent drones who were powered by AI. So there's a lot of things going on there. Let's see here. Jeremy says, when people talk, they talk like that. Don't be so sensitive. Oh, Blue Dragon. Okay, so y'all have a conversation amongst each other. And Simone says it can all be manipulated by humans too. Yeah, it can be hacked. Donovan will tell you a story. He thought he was Mr. Fly Guy. He had his whole house rigged up with AI, this, that, and the other. And then one day he calls me and says, you know what? I have to unhook a lot of that stuff because what if I get hacked? I get locked out of my house. So I'm
and then they'll change the deed and make it in their name, and then kick you out your own house.
Exactly, and a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the old-fashioned doorbell. I know everybody wants the new digital ones and stuff, but I live by a military base too, because even in the 90s, before all this AI, I would come home sometimes using the old garage door opener. My garage would be wide open because of the radar signals that would come from the base or the airplanes. So just think what they can do now.
Yeah, it's scary. And, we're not trying to freak you guys out, but we should know, right? This is what this channel is about, learning and knowing about things in Black America. Sorry if I'm freezing up, y'all, for that reason. But, you're right. The trucking industry probably will be unscathed for a while. But it is going on, but it's a replacement thing. They're trying to replace humans altogether. But I don't really think they understand the magnitude of what will happen. But we as Black people especially need to know about these things because we know that we predominantly make up the service industry, and that is affecting us, right? These jobs are going away. Got AI. You go into the bank even. There's only like one teller, and they have these machines that they want you to go to that can help you. Like, I always get freaked out of having to stick my hand in the little thing. It wants to take your envelope. I'm like, damn, what if this thing close up on my hand or whatever? So that kind of freaks me out. But everywhere you go, it's. I mean, even me, I'm old enough to remember when you needed to call a company. Hello, thank you for calling Acme Academy. How can I help you? Now you got to go through 500 robots. I'm sorry, can you tell me just a little bit why you're calling, representative? Well,
and then at the end of the day, you end up in the Philippines when you finally get somebody.
Oh, no. But then it takes it one step further. If you don't answer the questions the way they want you to answer it, they're going to hang up on you. And then you're going to have to start all over again.
Because they don't want to use the humans. They want everybody to get conditioned to working with AI because they eventually want to get rid of the humans, even in the Philippines, even though the labor is a lot cheaper. They don't want us to use that anymore because they don't want to have to pay. So they're trying to force us into doing it. Now, I don't mind dealing with AI every once in a while on the phone, but when I got a call, I want to talk to a human because I just need to be able to just really have a human conversation with somebody. But pretty soon there ain't gonna be no humans at all. I mean, there's some things that they don't even have humans for you to converse with. So, I mean, Black people, we are out of time. And we better figure this out. Like BJ said, we better figure it out quickly because the window of opportunity, I would venture to say, has already closed. Then what are we going to do? And they even said, check this out, that AI has learned to be racist. It has learned to be racist because what they do is they shove all these images and things into the AI system. One particular thing they did was like 1.7 million, maybe it was more images and things like that. And then when they asked the robot questions, it was racist. So even we ain't gonna even have a chance against AI because they learned it from racists to be racist. So we better get it together.
Hey guys, I'm about to drop down. My tournament is about to start, so I'm about to go downstairs so you guys have a beautiful day, man. Once again, happy Mother's Day to everybody, and you guys enjoy your rest of your weekend.
Thanks
you do the same. Have a great one. Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye. And Blue Dragon, you say Elon is a very intelligent man, and if someone with his experience, statistics or experience, that's AI will be the downfall of humans. Is definitely raised a brow. Yeah, I mean, we can already see it unfolding before our eyes.
Well,
because it's probably because AI is not going to be. It's going to eventually become unracist, and it's going to treat everybody equally.
Yeah, humans are going to be humans. They're just going to hunt us down, and that's it. It's like the Terminator. Yeah.
Jeremy says, do any of you remember when Dodge first revamped the company in the early 2000s when the vehicle computers were remotely hacked and moving the transmission out of park? Now, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember that, and I answered Jeremy's question on that because I remember because like you have these people getting in accidents and they're getting tickets and stuff, and they would go to court, especially here in California, what's happening, and the insurance companies wouldn't pay on these accidents. There was a one example, I'm not sure if this is the exact example, where the lady said she had put her foot on the brake and, it didn't do anything and it still hit. I'm not sure if that's the same thing, but it was situations like that. But the insurance companies refused to cover the liability that was in regards to that, to all that was happening because the computers were going haywire.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I try to be more analog as possible, off the grid per se. I mean, you kind of are forced into it, and a lot of things you kind of have to. And who I really feel sorry for is a lot of the older people who just ain't finna be doing all this AI. My dad, for a very long time, he used a flip phone, right? And he was kind of forced to use it, an Android, if you will. Did not like it, but he likes it now because there's certain things he could do. But there's a lot of older people who are like, I'm not trying to be doing all of that. Like, if you want to even get a job, you got to fill out on a computer. Like, there's a lot of things you got to do that you didn't have to do. And I guess it's in the name of making things easier, but easier for who, right?
Yeah. Well, think about it. When you go to a store and, like, I'm an older person, the first thing the young people say to you, oh, well, you can fill that out on the app. I'm here right now. What do you mean fill it up in there? I'm here right now. Well, sir, you got to go on the app. What are you talking about?
Yep, like you said, even apps. They forcing people to get an app to even get your tickets. If you go to a concert, you gotta have an app now to even do that. And
even the McDonald's now, it's like they have these kiosks that you put all your orders in right there, and it's like barely anybody behind the counter.
There's some place, one McDonald's, I can't remember where it is, but it's completely automated from the ordering all the way to the kitchen. So I don't know. Tisha, now see, that's a no. I don't wear false eyelashes, but that would definitely be a no for me. Robots are applying lashes too.
Yeah, just think if that robot went haywire.
You won't have an eye, maybe not a brain.
That just freaked me out even thinking about it, because I'm one of those people that go to the eye doctor. It takes them like 15 shots to do that glaucoma test. And they're like, okay, keep your eye open and I'll blink 100 times and they'll finally get it. But I couldn't imagine lying there and letting them push. Hell no. Hell to the no. Hello, Rain. How are you doing? And Simone is saying, so it could poke you in the eye. Now, hell no. Moni, you say some women could not see lying down with a man that's 79 that has a long legacy in acting but can produce illegitimate bastard by a broke man, then get mad at Jesus and say that he is illegitimate. I mean, you make a good point. I'm not going to do either, to be honest with you. But anyway, yes, welcome back. And Simone says, I can't stand that test. It's a puff of air. I don't care. That's what they say. It's just a puff of air, but it feels like it's a poof. Like it's going to push your eyeball back. So anyway, y'all.
Yeah, I have a optometry appointment on Wednesday, and they're going to be doing that, checking my eyes.
Yeah, I had one. I'm good for another year. Okay. So anyway, yes, Rain, we love you too. We're about to get out of here. Let you guys enjoy the rest of you guys' Mother's Day or your Sunday, whatever it is you're going to do today. Please come back and see us again on Tuesday. Donovan and I will do a podcast in the morning, and then we come back live for you Tuesday to have about an hour conversation with you. We're going to try to make that about politics and things that we really should know about. Not that we really don't need to know about these things, but just to kind of have a more in-depth conversation, because you guys know political season is coming up and there's things we need to know because these Democrats are tripping. Okay. Tripping. Republicans too, but we know that the Republicans don't come knocking on the doors of the churches and all that trying to get at us, right?
Hey, what the hell? No voting, no bucking. Okay, just remember that. Hoes to the polls and all that other stuff. Just come on with it.
If they waiting on people not to be bucking, then they might as well give it up because that ain't gonna happen. Okay.
But that's
hello, Brother Samuel.
This is the Democratic Party. So
yep.
Hey, Mr. Samuel.
Hello there. And I did catch the minister on his birthday. He spoke. It was a wonderful. I wouldn't even call it a speech. It was just words of wisdom from the minister. Of course, you guys know he turned 90 years old, and it was a blessing. They blessed the minister with 90 ounces of pure gold, in addition to other things. So I'm going to watch it again. There's just so much wisdom in there. But thank you so much. And I need to catch. I guess he also spoke earlier that morning, if I'm not mistaken. So I need to catch that as well. But thank you so much. I love you and appreciate you for keeping me in the loop always. And Pamela, you have a great week as well. And Blue Dragon said, I've been a pleasure spending time with you all and chatting up. Have a blessed day, everyone. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. Yes, indeed. And thank you so much. Y'all all please come back again. And happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Please enjoy yourself. Get some rest or whatever it is you are going to do. You crazy. Jeremy says, I still ain't black at Biden. And let's see here. Pam says, Sister Demetria K, I sent y'all more information. Check it out. Can y'all use some on here? If you like, if you think will help you. So I did read it. It's a pill. It's I guess it's like some sort of liquid that you can spray onto your fruits and vegetables to preserve them a little bit longer. I never heard of it, but I am interested in checking it out. Very interesting. So I will look more into it. But thank you guys. Yes, happy birthday, Farkhan. Love you guys dearly. See you guys on Tuesday. Peace.